Hello and welcome to a new episode of Story of Success, in which we interview prominent Egyptian figures. We'll be back with our guest after the break, so stay with us. Our guest today is a renowned photographer who actually, although he studied Oriental Studies and he studied Hebrew, but yet he decided that his career should be in photography as he fell in love with it. He studied photography, he's teaching photography. Also, he's one of the renowned Egyptian photographers. He worked in a variety of fields when it comes to photography, including, of course, that of being an international jury. He participated in many group and international exhibitions. Also, he passed through various stages in his photographic career, ending with wildlife photography. He also enjoys travel photography. We will be today entering the photographic world of a renowned photographer, Mr. Ahmed ElSheikh. Welcome with us. Well, first of all, I'd like to know, why did you decide to major in Oriental Studies and specifically in Hebrew?
Well, in the secondary school, I dreamed to be an engineer. It was my dream. But you know, my degrees wasn't enough to get this dream accomplished. So my uncle actually he recommended to me to study Oriental languages and Hebrew because this field has better job opportunities and it's easy to get job in it. But actually, when I graduated at the Faculty of Arts Oriental Studies department, I changed my career totally to other field.
Following your graduation, you worked in the field of telecommunications. Would you please talk to us about that experience?
Well, I didn't found actually a job opportunity in the field of Hebrew, especially translation, and I didn't like it. I just joined it to get better job. But when I graduated, I searched for any job opportunity that could be respectable and give me enough money to build myself and to start investing in the things I love. Then I joined one of the telecommunication companies in Egypt. It was the biggest one actually. I was lucky to get this job in the field of customer service. Then and after 6 months, I switched to another field, which is customer experience. Customer experience mainly is field that related to marketing and to studying the market and to know the user experience and the potential problems before it's got happened or the problem happened. This field teached me to expect what's to be done and to expect the good things and the bad things actually before the good ones.
Now, you've studied Oriental Studies, you've studied Hebrew, also worked in the field of telecommunications. To what extent did that enhance you so that later on, as a photographer, it will be expressed in your work and enhance your character?
We have a great photographer called Ansel Adams. We are considering him the father of modern photography and digital photography actually. This man has a great quote. He said, and I'm quoting from him, when you're photographing people, you bring to them the books you have read, the arts you've seen, the music you have listened, and every experience you have experienced. So I think that every single event happened in my life and in everyone's life is affecting his photography as art, affecting his art and his output in a way or another. Yeah.
When did you decide to take up photography as a career?
It was long time ago. The decision is made long time ago, but it came true and I implemented it recently, actually in the latest June, June 17, the 21st exactly. This was when I was in my job and I talked to my supervisor in a way or another, and then I go out to my office. It was a regular discussion, actually. We made it every day, but I go out to my office and say why I should continue in this. It's not what I like, it's not what I love. Is this because of money? Yes, actually it was because of money. So I have to find another solution. In a parallel, I was working in my own online academy, teaching photography for people, and it was not paying me good, but I think it was a very good potential. So I took the decision, and here I am.
Definitely, photography must have been your hobby. So did you start at a young age or did you start later on in life?
As everyone in this room, I think everyone in this room is photographing anything and experience photography in a way or another. I started photography in a very early age. One of my relatives, actually, my referrals, has a studio, has a classic photography studio, you know, the 4x6 and this stuff. And I used to burn his films. He has a film camera, and I used to go there and burn his film, all his films. I posted him like.
Did you open it in the light or what? Did
No, I just shooting. I just keep shooting. You know, we have several rules to handle the film, especially the film, the analog films. Put it in the camera and remove it from the camera. I used to take wrong photos. This was I was young this age. And since then he started to learn me and to raise my passion once and another, in a way or another, I mean. And then I started to get my first wow camera. It was X phone. X phone is not a brand. I mean X phone. I don't want to mention the brand. Yeah. It was X phone, and this was the.
So it was on a phone first.
Yeah. Actually, I have my point and shoot camera, digital or not digital. My point and shoot film camera. It was X Bordeaux.
It doesn't matter. It's not a camera. It's fine.
A certain camera,
but it was just a camera. It's
yes,
fine.
It's a camera, but it's a point and shoot camera. It's not a DSLR one. It's not. You cannot control the light. The camera taking the decisions. This stuff that we have nowadays in the DSLR cameras. But I use this point and shoot camera to take photos for everything. I earned it in one of these albums that you put stickers on it, and I got camera. I don't know why, but I got camera. It was a message from God, I think. So I decided to use this camera to take photos for everything, but the film cost was a barrier for me at this time. As you know, the 10 or 11 years kid.
Films at that time were expensive.
Yes, it was expensive, and the post-processing also, not only shooting, but you have to shoot and go to lab to make post-processing then and get your photos, and which was all white or black ones. I don't have details on these photos. Then the phone was this the key factor or the key trigger that lighting in my head that you have this potential to be a photographer. Then it was one day. I went to my job as usual, and I have a colleague. She was a close friend of mine. She got me a camera, a DSLR camera. It was the first DSLR camera I got. It was a very old one. It was very simple and not too much functions on it. But it was, oh my God, this something cost her 3,000, which I pay actually after then.
I was just gonna tell you it's a very expensive gift.
Yes, it's not a gift.
You paid it, so that's
yes,
okay.
she got it to me because I was very hesitated to take this decision to buy a 3,000 in 2008. To pay a 3,000 AGB in a DSLR camera, which I'm not convinced that I'm potential to be a photographer or I should be a photographer. Yeah. So she made the decision instead of me. I have this camera, I paid for it £3,000, so now I have to take photos. I don't have other options. I have to take photos. I start learning. I go to some art schools and start learning photography with them. Actually, I'm a sort of nerd, you know, the nerd guys. This one who used to search the internet for every single information, and because I can understand English speakers. I used to take online courses parallel with the center course.
You told me that you passed through different stages in your photographic work, and of course, we have the wildlife photography. So, would you talk to me about your experience with photography?
Every amateur photographer starting his start investing or rising his talent or his hobby should pass by every type. Since he will reach the one, he can invest his time and money and mind and expend and the equipment in it. I started by taking macro shoots, which is my passion, my huge passion for me. These tiny creatures, when you get close from it, you get too much details. You say Subhanallah in every single shot. Then I start shooting people and streets. In Egypt, shooting streets is not that easy. Not because of the security only, or because of these matters only, but because of the culture. People are don't use to get themselves photographed by another one. Especially when you got a stranger. Hi, I'm approaching you to get photo for you. Why? Because I love your face. Oh, you love my face? This is a big problem when you are photographing a female. A male, you can as a male, I can deal with a male. We are talking to, okay, don't shoot me, don't photograph me. I take my camera off and then I go. Then I turn to taking general shoots for Egypt as cityscapes and as this stuff. And then in 2012, I knew my friend Ahmed ElSheikh. He is a nature conservationist and bird activist, and he got me to the field of wildlife photography.
Definitely, when you're shooting wildlife photography, it's animals and birds. Definitely, you cannot control their position and posture, and definitely that requires a lot of effort. So, would you talk to me about your technique when you're shooting wildlife photography?
Wildlife photography is a way different than any kind of photography else. It's much close, or in a way or another, close to sports photography in terms of equipment. But approaching animals, especially wild animals, and I'm talking about predators and raptors and this dangerous animals, is not as easy as shooting a person. Dealing with light, getting your shoot the way you want it. It's all about being in the location, in the perfect time, and in the perfect lighting, and taking a lot of shots. When photographing wildlife, I used to get my memory cards full. I go out for shooting and go back home with my memory card full of photos, just to take one or two photos as a good photos to share or to post or to start using it commercially or editorially.
Now, when shooting wildlife, was it only in Egypt or did you travel elsewhere in the world?
I started in Egypt, and it's worth to mention that we have a very huge diversity in Egypt in wildlife, especially birds. We have 500 plus species in birds. That is not well known for public. Then in 2016, I traveled to Masai Mara in Kenya, and this was the most great experience I ever had in my life, especially as a wildlife photographer. When you go there as a tourist, enjoying the nature and the wild animals, you got yourself so excited. Just imagine that I'm a wildlife photographer, that someone loved animals, someone loved nature. I think we may project some photos from this trip. This way, this will present how it was excited there, how it was amazing.
I can notice that there is a beautiful photograph of a bird. Is that an owl or an eagle? And tell me please about that photograph.
It's one of my photos, and actually it's not an owl. It's similar to owl. It's a short-toed snake eagle, and this eagle is it was a captivated one. It's not wild. I was in an event organized by some of my friends regarding the the pets and birding and this stuff, and I saw this eagle standing like I'm a predator. The captivity did not change his characteristics. It didn't change his characteristics. It's still a predator, still has dignity, still has that much ego that's presented in this photo. I approached it and get close to it in the safe way and a safe distance, and then take some shoots. This was one of my favorite, and it got featured by many national and international magazines in Egypt and worldwide.
Now, for this particular photo and wildlife photography, now this bird, did you take multiple shots of it, or did you wait till it's in a still moment, or just you captured its attention? Tell me more, how did you take this beautiful picture?
A wildlife photographer cannot take one shot for the animal and just go. We keep trying. You are not taking photos for people just to tell him, hey, would you please look a little bit to the left? You have to wait till he make the look you want, till he got the perfect position with light, till you get the perfect background behind him or behind it, then you take your shot.
Now, the shot here is so beautiful. I can see the dark background, I can see the light, I can see the shades of brown and silver and white on the body of the eagle. Now, is that photoshopped, or are these the true colors?
It's light, actually. I wanted to mention something in this stage. The early photographer used to make post-processing. It's not photoshopped, but it's post-processing, enhancing contrast, enhancing light, enhancing this stuff. This is what I did here. I did in this photo. It's not photoshopped. It's just the shot I take. Yes, it's just adjusted, but the way it should be. The way it should be adjusted as the early photographers.
Now, some say that the modern technology and the mobiles with all the auto resets as well as the photoshopping actually is enriching the photographs. Others saying no, it's taking from the photos, it's taking from the photographer the talent itself, that before that people needed to look into the focus and adjust the light. So do you agree or disagree that modern technology is taking away part of the photographer's skill?
It's one of the myths in the photography. It's a myth. It's just not true. Show me a good photo, and I want to ask you that where did you get this photo? What equipment did you use in this photo? We have a very famous photographer. It's already here his quote is already here in our place. When people ask me, I'm quoting from him. He said, when people ask me what equipment you use to take your photos, I said my eyes. And this is what differs photographer from another, the eye. Shoot using whatever you want, and just give me a great photo, and I will be very appreciated to it. Digital photography make it easier. Smartphones nowadays make it easier and make it available for everyone, which is something we love. We like everyone to take photos. We like the culture of photographing everything, photographing beauty, photographing nature. We like it to be expanding all over the country.
You have your own photography academy and you instruct students. Now tell me more about the techniques employed by you when teaching your students.
Okay. I'm using, in my academy, I'm using the most complete and the most modern. المدينة، الأسترو، الحاجات اللي هي كلها فيها البطل الصورة هو مكان كبير أو منظر كبير وبيحكي كذا حاجة. يعني هي كل الحكايات بتاعت التصوير او كل الصور لازم تحكي حاجه، لازم تقول حاجه. لو الصوره ما قالتش حاجه ما بقاش في صوره اصلا. ممكن تبقى الصوره بتقول ان في مكان جميل، ممكن تبقى الصوره بتقول ان في ناس عايشه هنا، ممكن تبقى الصوره بتقول ان وقت الغروب الحاجات دي بص يبقى شكلها متدرج ازاي. ممكن تبقى الصوره بتسجل حاجه احنا ما بنشوفهاش في الطبيعي، او بتسجل حاجه احنا بنشوفها في كل وقت بس مش بناخد بالنا ان هي دي عامله كده. زي مثلا لو انت مصور حد بزاويه معينه وجيت غيرت الزاويه، انت كده بقى معاك صورة تانية خالص لنفس الشخص.
What does it take to be a good photographer? Is it the talent and artistic touch in an individual, or is it acquiring the techniques necessary?
Great photographer from a good photographer. It's what differs a commercial photographer, someone who works in photography as his profession, and for another one who's making art. Making art is not as easy as shooting a commercial shots. I can learn people, I can teach people how to use these lines in the photo, how to take this frame, how to frame your subject in this, but I cannot teach them how to get a good photo, to get a spirit, to get a talking photo.
Mr. Ahmed, you've mentioned wildlife photography, you've mentioned enjoying taking photographs, but also as a photographer, sometimes you get a client who wants commercial photography, who needs a certain thing from you that sometimes might contradict with your artistic view of it. So how do you compromise? Tell me more about the commercial photography. Do you do storyboards? How do you work?
We don't have the culture of working on storyboards and making mood boards for our projects. Nowadays, I'm talking about the majority, I'm not talking about the elite stuff or the elite photographers working nowadays. But nowadays, we have commercial photographers who just adjusted the lights and put the product and just shoot it. The client, he knows well what he wants. In 5% only from the cases, but in the other 95%, he didn't know what he wants. I'm not shooting for the client. I'm not shooting. If you are a business owner, I'm not shooting for you. I'm shooting for your consumer. I'm shooting for the end user client, which I should study before making the perfect shot out of my camera to present your business the way that your end user should like it or could like it. This is the formula. The client has special requirements. He came to me because he saw my work and he loved my work. I take these requirements and turn it into a commercial art that represents his brand well for the end user, the way the end user should like.
Mr. Ahmed, actually, we have so many things to talk about still. You're a very rich character, and we're still going to continue talking about your story of success in the next episode. So till then, I'd like to thank you very much, renowned photographer, Mr. Ahmed ElSheikh.
Thank you.
That was renowned Egyptian photographer Mr. Ahmed ElSheikh. We've learned about his story of success. We will be continuing learning more about it in the next episode. We've learned about his study, how he studied Hebrew, how he worked in the field of telecommunications, and how these fields enriched his personality dealing with people and learning more about the world. And it was reflected in his work. We've learned about also being an instructor, what it takes, being a photographer, his hobby and passion for photography that started at a young age. Also, we've learned about his love for travel as well as wildlife. Also about some of the themes he has been interested in. And we will be learning more about his story of success in the next episode. So till then, it's goodbye.